Good morning, everyone. Yep, I'm early enough today. uh, I, I came across someone asking, so what do you consider a miracle, right? What miracles have happened to you since you joined the Unification Church, being a Mooney and believing in that second coming of true parents and the blessing back to God's lineage? And it's like, well, and the question wasn't asked to me. It was asked to someone else that had posted something, and it seemed like nobody really answered the question. I thought, well, I'll go in and do it. So I did, and I said, gave some examples on how. Well, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I said I could go on. I said, but how much are you actually going to read? Yeah, what's your question really all about? And when I just look at the process now for me to go up there, I'm just we're about a month, maybe 3 weeks away from me receiving as Grozy the grandma another grandchild. And getting ready to go up there and take care again of the summer vacation coming up. Three grandchildren the oldest one is 11, uh, and then younger ones, and helping out again, take care of those great kids. Oh, they're just great. They're so much fun. And yeah, and maybe staying on to keep taking care of the little one, the youngest one. And in a way, this is all happening with everybody around it. Huh? Number one, to create a space for me where, okay, one isn't, where I don't have to walk them steps all the time. Also, there's a baby involved, which again, with a little bit my unstable hips, this, that, go, that has to be thought out, which man, that's amazing how much stuff they all got, for that baby. Huh? Multiple strollers, which is great because that's kind of my, okay, I'm not going to get out into all that. But here I'm already organizing everything, right? And of course, around all the other children as well. The how everybody's involved, creating this space for me where then I can kind of, yep, Grosy's workshop, I'm going to call it. My little tiny house. I love it. I've always wanted this. That was my next. I'd love to live in a tiny house. Anyway, okay, just saying. And how everybody's involved in it. Everybody's getting ready, and of course here I am, right? Well, I'm taking my garden with me. Okay, how am I doing that? Well, okay, it's my thing, and everybody's excited. Everyone is excited. That's a miracle to me. Everybody's working together to make this happen. That a grandparent can be there for all the grandchildren. Yes, and then, as I said, maybe we'll see on how that's going to work out to stay on for a number of years. Mm. Because, as I said, there's a tiny little one. I don't want that to go to daycare or this or that and have people that don't know. As I said, who's going to take the greatest care of one of your children? Of course, either your mom or your dad. Yeah, of course. If all right, and that's just on how this is all working out. To me, it's just a miracle. Everything's just progressing in this perfect way of excitement and work and moving and mm, the help that everybody is giving each other to make this happen. Yes, that's a miracle. That's an absolute miracle, in my opinion, in these days. Yes. Yeah. Ah. Whew. I'm gonna take. We have this little wagon here too. Well, it has like bicycle wheels on it, and it's a cart. It's a pretty big cart, not big, too big, yeah, but it's definitely bigger than a little radio flyer cart. Yeah. And then I thought, well, this would be great. It's a mile to the library, then less to the playground, and there's something else my daughter said that was there. I thought, oh, that's great. I can't remember though what it was. And can you imagine? I'm just gonna pack everything on that cart, and then of course too. Okay, we'll get to just wait to the end of this one. If one of the kids gets tired, because there is some little ones there still, they can sit in it, and I'll have the boys especially. They're 8 now. They can take turns pulling it or this or that, right? And then of course when Grandma gets tired, guess what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's big enough for me to sit in there, and they can pull me back home. Just say. So I have all this. just I could just see like last year. It's going to be the adventure maniacs will be let loose again, and we're going to have a great time together. Uh, Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Enough of that. I'm just so excited. To me, this is all a miracle. To me, this is all guided by Spirit World, guided by God for our family, right? To do the best that we can here together on Earth. Isn't it beautiful? Besides, yesterday was a great day on Earth. Uh, Couples were blessed under the guidance of true parents all over the world. Yeah. April 24th. I hope it was yesterday or day before yesterday. April 24th, 2024. God's family is getting larger, stronger. Yes, and we're marching on to restore mankind. It's going to take some time still. Yes, I know. But it's happening, people. It really is. Which reminds me as well. Well, that's just within your circle, blah, blah, blah. There's just millions and millions of people all around the world to begin with. But one thing that I see, and these people are not necessarily a part of, the blessing yet or whatever, but they're being affected by it. I see so many posts and little videos of families, young people with 5, 6, 7 children, right? And they have this little thing going. I'm just amazed. Older generations now, I want to look at the younger generations, go, oh yeah. This is how it was when we were young, this and now, but you people are wrong. It's the people are wrong out there when it comes to that. There are so many wonderful husbands and wives out there as parents with their children, many children, and they're doing well. They're fulfilling their purpose in life, which of course is always to bring God joy. And how do you do that? Oh, I just said how you do that. You know what I mean? So, amazing things going on around the world. Lots of goodness spreading everywhere, this and that. And it will ripple out, right, to the ones that are suffering, being abused, this and that. Yeah, still much to do, right? Yes? But when there's unity between mind and body, more and more people will find to that, right? And the physical and the spiritual, and it will. Future generations, I have great hope. I see great hope in the future. One last thing, a niece of mine, in-law, is getting surgery today for something they found, and okay, it's just a biopsy, but it's a little concerning, and It's my brother-in-law's daughter, and I was in the kitchen, and suddenly I'm hearing this Christian song, right? A really powerful one. I'm looking at my sister and I'm going, "Where's that coming from?" I said, "That's what I listen to, not you guys." Not you guys. They're yeah. I said, "That's kind of me." What coming? I'm looking out on the porch, and here's my brother-in-law. And he's watching a video with this song. I said, "Hey, how did you get to that?" He said, "My daughter sent it to me, and he loved it." Yes, okay, fine. I would have sent it to him. Okay, I'm just saying. And it was like this. Here is his daughter who's going through a really rough time physically right now, and has kind of for some time, but and here she is sending her dad, right? Yes. Well, this is kind of, I'm finding encouragement and support, when I listen to this. And he listened for a long time to that song, just kind of really getting into it. And I'm like, that's good. That's another miracle to me. Yes. How do we find to certain things that spiritually really elevate us, then to help us through difficult times? Yes, together. Yeah. All right, just saying. There. You're looking for miracles? Don't look so far and wide. All right. I cleaned the chicken coop out. Yeah, a couple days ago. It was yesterday. A couple days ago. And I'm paying for it a little more than usual with the coughing because I wasn't wearing a mask. All right, second book of Chronicles 24. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. Yeah, right. And he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. So he was 47 when he was done, died, or whatever. That's pretty young too, isn't it? What is a 7-year-old king doing on a throne? Just tell me. What's he gonna do? Teach you how to draw better? or say, look, I can do now. Yes? Okay. Learning his multiplication tables. Oh, did they have them at that time? I don't know. What does a 7-year-old king do on a throne? What's he gonna do? What's he there for? Okay. All right. Reigned for 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zibiah from Beersheba. Joash tried hard to please the Lord all during the lifetime of Jehoiada the priest. Aha. Okay. During the life, what does that tell us right now? That Jehoiada seemed like was kind of his teacher, his master, his teacher. All right. Yes. So that's good. Jehoiada arranged 2 marriages for him, and he had sons and daughters. Why would he arrange 2 marriages for him? I think it's pretty darn clear that you don't do that. They had the scriptures, didn't they? I mean, was Genesis and all that not known to anyone on how that actually works? All right, at least it was only 2. Oh, those were wives. I don't know how many concubines he had. Okay, I'm just. Later on, Joash decided to repair and recondition the temple. He summoned the priests and Levites and gave them these instructions. Hey, you're stuck on something again. Uh-huh. Here we go. You see what goes with it? Go to all the cities of Judah and collect offerings for the building fund so that we can maintain the temple in good repair. What he didn't have already enough in his own palace and all to do that with. Get at it right away. Don't delay. But the Levites took their time. So the king called for Jehoiada, the high priest, and asked him, "Why haven't you demanded that the Levites go out and collect the temple taxes from the cities of Judah and from Jerusalem? The tax law enacted by Moses, the servant of the Lord, must be enforced so that the temple can be repaired." Mm-hmm. The followers of wicked Athaliah had ravaged the temple, and everything dedicated to the worship of God had been removed to the temple of Balaam. Okay, wait a second. How is this possible? Now, this boy was at the temple for how many years? So it was protected, this, that, and now that he is the king on the throne, the temple is being raided. I'm sorry. How does that make sense? Again, what is this? And who's being given the blame for things that either weren't kept up, weren't protected properly? And what? How does that make any sense? I'm just asking. This is so like, I wasn't there. I don't know. But this does not make sense. Has anybody, now that Joash is on the throne and Jehoiada is the high priest, which I'm assuming they're under the care of the temple goes under, right? And there's all these Levites there. So it looks like the Levites are in the right place. Well, the temple is completely unattended and but for 6 years, while the wicked Atalia was queen, nothing happened to the temple. Nobody found the boy. Okay, just asking. Right? Really? Hmm. That doesn't sound right. Who to blame and why do we need them taxes and this and that? I think we're, okay. So now the king instructed that a chest be made and set outside the temple gate. Then a proclamation was sent to all the cities of Judah and throughout Jerusalem, telling the people to bring to the Lord the tax that Moses, the servant of God, assessed upon Israel. I don't know. Is that? Did Moses actually really do that? I think that's being misconstrued here as well. And all the leaders and the people were glad and brought the money and placed it in the chest until it was full. Ask the people to donate, and it seems to work better. Then the Levites carried the chest to the king's accounting office, where the recording secretary and the representative of the high priest counted the money and took the chest back to the temple again. This went on day after day, and money continued to pour in. The king and Jehoiada gave the money to the building superintendents, who hired masons and carpenters to restore the temple, and the foundry men who made articles of iron and brass. So the work went forward, and finally the temple was in much better condition than before. When all was finished, the remaining money was brought to the king and Jehoiada, and it was agreed to use it for making the gold and silver spoons and bowls used for incense and for making the instruments used in the sacrifices and offerings. So everything was gone. Didn't they have a storehouse full of stuff too? That's right. Okay, all around for. Okay, just saying. This sounds so. Here's the other thing too. You know how it works among the Amish? Yes, that's one thing I really like about the Amish. There's things I don't like about them. I mean, what I have to say, okay, whatever, is that when someone's building a barn or even a house, everybody comes together and helps, volunteers, right? Yes, yeah. And even with the materials, this and that, as far as I know, right, they're very much a community that shares the burden of, okay, establishing another family, a house, a barn, this, that, right? Or if repairs are needed on something. This is at a time where trading and again, I'm not sure about money and how much that was worth or just, but trading work, helping each other out was very much a part of survival. Why not just say we need this temple rebuilt or we need this to be renovated? Yeah. How about can people come and just donate their time and and their lumber or yeah, I'm sure there were craftsmen who knew how to make these bowls. Just okay, yes, and use if needed. Just raid the palace if the cold is not if that's what they needed there. Again, I don't think God cared about that. Right? Yes, but how was it done again? Right? Yes, just saying. Then with the rest of it, oh, we're going to do this, and this. Why not just save it and say, you know what? That temple's going to have to continuously be kind of taken care of. So what we have now, let's save it. And okay, see, that's what I would do. But that's all right. You can't tell me that this just, as I said, this is weird. How could this all have disappeared out of the temple and left to itself to get to ruin like that? Right? Yes? And then you're going to blame whom for it? Just saying. It doesn't sound quite right. Burnt offerings were sacrificed continually during the lifetime of Jehoiada the priest. He lived to a very old age, finally dying at 130, yet the kings never made it that long. Huh, that's a weird one too. He was buried in the city of David among the kings because he had done so much good for Israel, for God, and for the temple. Okay, well, yeah, it's all right. He got the people in the right direction. I have to acknowledge that. He was trying. Gosh, what must not have been easy. But after his death, the leaders of Judah came to King Joash and induced him to abandon the temple of the God of their ancestors and to worship shame idols instead. Huh? So what? They were just waiting for Jehoiada to die so that then they could continue. So where was their heart? Tamite in all this. And Joash, was he? Let's find out. Was he easily? So what? Where's the foundation actually that's solid enough for this to not happen again and again and again? When we're not talking 1 or 2 years. Sounds like what? How many years was Jehoiada guiding Joash? Just saying. So the wrath of God came down upon Judah and Jerusalem again. God sent prophets to bring them back to the Lord, but the people wouldn't listen. So the people weren't happy either. If the people would have been happy under Joash's, what happened with the temple? What did I say? Where did people really come and just happily give all this stuff? Or was it again under a threat, this, that, and then the people what? Suffered again because of what? To build the temple again? Or fix it up? Put all this gold and stuff in it again? Because of where did it go actually? Remember the huge stuff that was in there? So what? Atalia's people who were mad now that she was killed carried off a huge basin, where the priest cleansed herself. What, nobody noticed? I'm just asking. It's weird. This is all freaking weird. It doesn't make any sense. Just saying. But obviously, there were people who said, no, let's not do this again. Right? Yes, there were plenty of Levites there. So there were some people that were really, truly trying to follow. Now, what Moses and Aaron put in place at one time. But again, it seemed like people were just waiting for people to die, and then and kept kind of whatever they felt was more profitable, more created better things for them, hidden away until the time comes where they can bring it out again, because the one person, a high priest, is gone now. This is weird. How people flip flop. And yeah, all right. Then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, Jehoiada's son. He called a meeting of all the people. Standing before them upon a platform, he said to them, God wants to know why you are disobeying his commandments. For when you do, everything you try fails. You have forsaken the Lord, and now he has forsaken you. Then the leaders plotted to kill Zechariah. Nobody listens. And finally, King Joash himself ordered him executed in the court of the temple. That was how King Joash repaid Jehoiada for his love and loyalty by killing his son. Zechariah's last words as he died were, Lord, see what they are doing and pay them back. Oh, big difference in Zechariah's words, right, than what Jesus said on the cross. Oh, this makes me want to cry. A few months later, the Syrian army arrived and conquered Judah and Jerusalem, killing all the leaders of the nation and sending back great quantities of booty to the king of Damascus. It was a great triumph for the tiny Syrian army, but the Lord let the great army of Judah be conquered by them because they had forsaken the Lord, God of their ancestors. In that way, God executed judgment upon Joash. When the Syrians left, leaving Joash severely wounded, his own officials decided to kill him for murdering the son of Jehoiada the priest. What the heck mess is this? They assassinated him as he lay in bed and buried him in the city of David, but not in the cemetery of the kings. The conspirators were Sabad, whose mother was Shimeat, a woman from Ammon, and Jehosabad, whose mother was Shimrit, a woman from Moab. If you want to read about the sons of Joash and the curses laid upon Joash and about the restoration of the temple, see the Annals of the Kings. When Joash died, his son Amaziah became the new king. Mm-hmm. All right. I feel like I just talked myself. Whatever. I think one thing here again: did God bring the Syrian army in, and then because of? I don't think so. Okay, it's we're getting things here in a way again where what you're trying to threaten me into believing in God and this and that, and make sure that what I make sure that everything I've worked hard for goes your way, and whatever, right? To do what? Fix up your temple and stuff. Just saying. There's one thing in here though. Then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, Jehoiada's son. He called a meeting of all the people. Standing before them upon a platform, he said to them, God wants to know why you are disobeying his commandments. For when you do, everything you try fails. You have forsaken the Lord, and now he has forsaken you. God never forsakes us. Never, ever, ever. But because we have free will, freedom of choice, to choose this and that, yes, we're not like animals and plants under the instinct of seasons or whatever. We decide. We decide. Most everything in our life, we do. We can point the finger at others and say, oh, no, they decided for me. Oh, well, you can do that, but you already know that's not true. There was a little thing that I saw today that in some people, common sense has common sense is a flower. In some people, it doesn't exist. That's not true either. The seed of common sense, the seed of a conscience, the heart to mind, exists in everyone, everybody. Sometimes that needs a lot of nurturing and care for it to start sprouting. Yes? And who's responsible for that? Yeah. If, as someone that knows, if, as someone that truly believes and really is trying to do their best in that world, right? Appropriately, according to the Ten Commandments, the Lord's Prayer, and the Family Pledge, then what do? We nurture and care. Yes? So, we turn away from God. God never turns away from us, to start with. Yes? Well, I don't know. Who is it? Unknown name. No. I don't want to talk to him. 5571 area code. I have no idea. Doesn't sound familiar. Yeah, just let it go. And yeah, so, but why are you disobeying God again? Yes? Well, again, what was the situation truly like? Was it like they said here? It seems like Zechariah, well, probably the closest person to Jehoiada, the high priest, who seemed to be really trying, right? But again, how was he trying? He's still kind of stuck too in the past on how to go. How does one please God? Well, look at the Ten Commandments, and you know how, right? Yes. It doesn't say anywhere in the Ten Commandments, go build a big old temple. Go and get the taxes in from the people. What does it say? What about the Lord's Prayer? Yes, even the family pledge. If one reads it properly, what is it all about? Oh, that little moth here. This is not a good spot here. Why don't you just go look? Here it is. Oh, little critters coming to visit me. Anyway, so we continue to teach, right? Yes. So I'd say, yeah, Jehoiada in many ways was a good guide. He was the king of Judah at that time, not Joash. Because it sounds to me like Joash didn't, I mean, as I said, 7 years old on the throne. Right? And Jehoiada tried, one person. I had a feeling that there were a lot of people around Joash who did the opposite. Yes? Yeah. It's interesting on how the mothers are always mentioned. Yeah. It's too bad that the women at that time didn't have more sense either. Huh? Yes? And really sad. Okay. Well, anyway. That is it. That was 24. Oh, that's Junie. Oh, my daughter sent. I'm done with this. Ugh, God Almighty. Ugh, so tired of reading this. But then what did I say? Right? Yeah, we've come a long way from this time to today. I do believe that. I also believe that many people are strengthening their spiritual foundation. Right? Yes, it's not just about strengthening your physical foundation here by getting a great degree and then be very successful at your job, make a lot of money, then build a house or buy a house, and then have great cars. That's kind of a little bit, right? The on how one sees someone be, oh, very very steady, very firm, and doing really well, right? What I also see though is that spiritually people are really finding back to a more solid foundation. Yes? And of course, that foundation cannot be found anywhere else than under God's umbrella of what? Wrath, vengeance, punishment, judgment. No, love. And love, when you truly love, there will be sorrow. Yes? As well. That's just how it is. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? Yes? Just means you truly care. You've learned to truly care. Now that's good. That will ripple out to your surroundings. That will ripple out to your family. Yes? All right. That's it. That's all I have to share. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.